Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, June the 12th, 2023. So this will have covered the week of June the 5th through the 11th of 2023. So admittedly, this wasn't a very productive week. Things didn't end up working out the way I wanted them to. I've been having a few sort of seemingly pretty minor health issues. Hopefully it's all just minor. I had some weird feelings earlier in the week, including some various abdominal pain and such. It was not pleasant, but the worst of it seems to have subsided. But I've also been super fatigued and kind of nauseous at times. I'm hoping I went to an urgent care and urine tests said everything was fine, and an abdominal x-ray showed that things were fine. So honestly, I have no idea. They think I just had some gas or something, or a mild case of diverticulitis. I don't know yet, but my hope is that it might have just either been one of those, or perhaps even withdrawal effects from deciding to pretty much quit alcohol either permanently or for a good long time, because I realize I don't really enjoy it the way I used to, and it's probably not very beneficial for me. So yeah, that was something I talked about a little bit on Friday night's stream, but then I was just honestly way too just not feeling well enough to stream on Saturday or really do anything on Sunday. I didn't get a whole lot of time to play this week because I wasn't feeling the best, but hopefully whatever it is, I've turned the corner on. Hopefully it's nothing major. I am still in the process of trying to get a primary care provider. I've been very bad about doing that because I usually don't have any health problems. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about trophies. So in the past week, I worked on 3 different games, and one of them was Minecraft Pack number 2, I guess you could call it, or Trophy List number 2, in this case, Expansion Pack 17. So, Expansion Pack 14 came out back in late June of 2021. Expansion Pack 15 was December of 2021. Expansion Pack 16 was June of 2022. And now Expansion Pack 17 was June of 2023, almost exactly a year later. So it's entirely possible that from this point on, we will only be getting Minecraft DLCs once per year, which honestly I'm fine with, because I've talked about before, I really do not like the way that Minecraft has gone ever since Bedrock. Because pretty much everything through Expansion 12, which I think was the B update, I think everything through there was okay, and then it's just turned kind of ridiculous and not particularly enjoyable anymore. And the trophies have just gotten a lot more complicated. The game itself has gotten so much more complicated. It runs like crap on the PS4, by the way. From every time I've tried to play it, it honestly runs like crap. It doesn't run that much better on the Switch either, if any better at all, because I actually do have it on the Switch just to mess around with, but I wish you could play editions on the Switch and play the OG version. It would be way more fun. I honestly really prefer the older versions where you can have finite worlds. I've always thought that was a better way to make the game fun, in my personal opinion. So I did everything from the original Minecraft, so the main game and the first 13 expansions. I did all of that legitimately. I may have gone into other friends' worlds, but never used a trophy world or anything like that for the entire original list. But I have used Cookiest Monsters World for these expansions. Thank God for him being there and making this so much easier. So this expansion pack had to do with floating with a goat in a boat, waxing copper blocks or something. I barely remember this DLC. This was, 2 years ago now. I'm not even going to try to describe it because I don't remember it. This DLC was a year and a half ago, and I feel like a couple of these would actually be... Well, this one probably wouldn't have been all that difficult, because I guess you could have just put, water down at the very bottom and climbed all the way to the top with a tower of blocks. That probably wouldn't have been that hard. This one, you'd have to somehow get a villager all the way up to the build limit, which I feel like would be kind of tough. This one, I don't know if you had to have a specific record to do it, or if you just had to use a jukebox with any record in a meadows biome, which would actually be fairly straightforward. And this one, I'm pretty sure you have to get a strider out of the nether and then ride it in the overworld over lava, which sounds like an absolute nightmare. Thankfully, there are trophy worlds. Pack 16 that I did a year ago. Killing a mob next to a catalyst is apparently quite easy. A lot of people have it. I guess it's just all about finding a catalyst or building one. And then sneaking next to a skulk sensor without triggering it. I don't know if this is something you can build or what, but it's also fairly simple. These two I think were both kind of buggy back when I did them. Or, no, I think that this particular one, it wasn't buggy, it was just really hard to get all of them. And this one was buggy and took a while to make it actually work right. And expansion 17 does have a similar issue. So growing sniffer seeds, this one's pretty easy. It would just be, finding sniffer seeds, however you would get them in normal gameplay, and then planting them. This one is pretty simple. I'm not sure exactly how you get pottery shards, if you craft them or find them, but using them to craft a pot is not very difficult. However, this trophy is not only very excessive, but actually a bit buggy. It doesn't always unlock when you do all 8 of those that are listed. You sometimes have to do a few extra ones, as explained in the trophy world and all. I'm sure there'll be a trophy guide out for this at some point. But yeah, this trophy was unfortunately buggy, and it took a while to get it to pop. But thankfully, I was able to get all of this stuff done, so very glad that there are people out there that have fantastic trophy worlds that just make Minecraft such a better experience. Because again, it was like, actually no, I think it was expansion 11 and 12 was when Bedrock came in and the game got way worse. Because I remember expansion 11 was more complicated, 12 was the bees, 13 was the Nether update. And then 10 was the pillaging raiding update. That's the last time I wrote a guide for this game because it's changed so much and continues to change. I don't want to get into the same position I got in with Destiny 2 and that guide. That's definitely the worst guide I've written because the game changes so much. By the way, I have still been working on some guides. I was actually doing one for Far Cry 6 on the PS5, but I decided to sort of abandon it because honestly, I wasn't really going to have time to work on it, and I don't think it was going to be as good as the one that's already up on PSN. The only real advantage it was going to have was discussing when trophies can be auto-popped, so I don't know if it was really worth my time to continue working on. So the next game I worked on was The Division 2. I didn't get any DLC progress done. I only played this game once or twice this week, so I made almost no progress on it, so it would have been from the 5th and on, because I had finished the story, the original part of the story previously. So at this point, the world has basically been taken over by those Black Tusk guys, which are some kind of PMC, and they have way better weapons, and basically it looks like they take over all parts of DC, and you're basically recompleting several activities in each area of the world to up the world tier and get better equipment. And I guess that'll lead into whatever the actual final story mission is, as well as stuff like the raids. For the multiplayer trophies, I'm having to reform the trophy group for that one that I was going to do this one with because I could never get in contact with one of the guys, and then he just eventually left the group because I guess he didn't know how to change his privacy settings or something. Who knows? I believe, though, I think that this is not even a collectible type. I think it's a type of elite enemy that spawns in different parts of the world, or they might be bounty related. I haven't even looked at the trophy guide for that one, though. And then I know I earned at least one trophy, though, because that's why it's up above Minecraft. The Rogue Agent one will be boosted. Already had those done. Let's see. Oh, I'm working on these, by the way. I'm working on the signature weapon stuff. I chose the crossbow for my first specialization just because it has its own exclusive trophy, whereas for the other two, you can just get, one kill with each of the weapons and you'll be done with it. So I'm working on this one. I'm sure I'm probably about halfway there. Then, let's see. Still got to figure out how to craft an exotic. So I equipped my first specialization, which was easy enough. Just equip any one specialization. You get these once the Black Tusk invades. And this is related to fully upgrading a specialization, which I'm not entirely sure if that requires me to do the, sort of side objectives it gives me, like a project type objective, or if it's just something that sort of comes over time as you fight the Black Tusk and upgrade and such. And yeah, that's really the only progress I made this past week. Like I said, I didn't get the time to play on a lot of stuff that I wanted to, especially after the first couple days of the week, when I was, of course, finishing off Minecraft. So I finished this off on the 8th, so I think that was like Wednesday. Yeah, it looks like I must have done that one on either Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, that's what it was. And then we have Far Cry 6, which I did manage to finish. So at this point, every single Far Cry game is now completed. One of my proudest moments in trophy hunting to say that I've completed this big of a franchise. I mean, I've done it for Fallout, I've done it for Infamous, and I've technically come very close on a few other franchises. Like, I came close on Uncharted. I've done... The only Uncharted Platinum I'm missing is Legacy of Thieves Collection, but I never finished Uncharted 3's DLC. Killzone, the only one I missed was Killzone 3 multiplayer. I finished all the other ones, including the most difficult one and the most time-consuming one, so unfortunately, that is what it is. Call of Duty, I finished a majority of them, but not all of them, and probably never will finish all of them, especially with, Black Ops 3's PS3 version sitting over there. That's one that's probably never going to happen. Most likely, unless it was ever boostable with 2 people, and even then I would also be concerned about Black Ops 4. But I guess we can look over this trophy list one last time, because it's the last time we'll be mentioning anything Far Cry related until Far Cry 7 inevitably releases, which will probably be in we might get another Far Cry either at the end of this year, or no, probably not this year because they're working on the new Assassin's Creed, but we'll probably get a new Far Cry next year in 2024. I would think maybe in early Q1 or Q2 of 2024. So you get several story-related trophies. Everything through here is story-related with the exception of the Silver Trophy, which is the secret ending for the game. For this one, you just have to either take a boat or a plane off the side of the map at any point before the end of the main story, and you'll get it. Capture an F&D base without being detected is pretty easy. Capturing an F&D base with a co-op partner is the only true multiplayer trophy. Capture all the F&D bases, but this one can be auto-popped during an insurgency with just one capture on your carried-over save file. Same thing with this one, it can be popped from just one capture on your carried-over save file. Same with this one, it can be auto-popped, and this one can be auto-popped. This one probably can be auto-popped, but I never got the chance to test it because I had completed all of the military supply drops on the PS4 version. But these are all basically just your typical open-world Far Cry type of activities. So outposts, checkpoints are basically smaller outposts. Anti-aircraft guns are a little bit like the radio towers in a sense because they open up parts of the map for you. In a sense, they allow you to, fly around those areas. The military supply drops. Then this is a side quest line, so you have to complete 3 treasure hunts and then complete this particular Triada Blessings story. It's not too difficult and it gives you a lot of good rewards. Finish a single cockfighting match, 3 Grand Premios, and a Dominoes game. Those are all very easy. The cockfighting is at the Montero farm. The Dominoes game is in the forest headquarters in the bottom part of the map, and then the Grand Premios are the races. You just have to finish 3 out of the 12 around the map, but this one can auto-pop. Finish any one special operation. We know how I feel about that particular game mode. Any 5 Bandito operations, though this one does also auto-pop. A vehicle machete kill from a horse is very simple. Just get on a horse and pull up next to a military vehicle to get this one. This is just a collectible type, but you can actually auto-pop it by equipping any one unique weapon on your carried-over save file. Fully upgrade any one of your 6 camp facilities. You have to build all of them anyway, and they're not particularly hard to upgrade. Acquire all the Supremos. You get 1 basically for free at the beginning of the game. Purchase 5 more with uranium, and 1 from the Triada Blessings side quest. Purchase 15 meals using parts of animal meat, or just auto-pop it after making 1 on a carried-over file. The USB sticks, there's 15 total of those. The cryptogramma chest, there's effectively 45 collectibles here because there's 2 clues for each cryptogramma chest you have to find, and then the chests themselves, so there's effectively 45 parts to this. The 4 rides, you get 1 of them for free, 1 of them for winning a Grand Premio, and 2 others that are out in the open world, or 1 of them is a side quest related. Find all the roosters, I think there's 13 of these. Recruit 5 of the game's 7 amigos, though 2 of them are DLC exclusive. Pet Guapo at any point, one of the first trophies you'll probably get in the game. Equip Chicharon, the chicken, with his Mother Clucker outfit, and distract 10 soldiers with chorizo. Neither of those are very difficult. This one is unmissable. You're easily going to get this just by completing the main story. This one can be done. There's a certain mission where there's going to be a shark in a pool, and that's a great place to knock this one out. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit trickier to do. You're going to have to find a shark hunting ground and use grenade. Well, no, you can use a rocket launcher for it. catch 10 fish, or just catch one on a carried over save where you already have the trophy done. Take out a soldier by sabotaging an alarm. You need a specific piece of gear to do this. You sabotage it, then alert the enemies, then they'll go blow themselves up. Take out 3 insurgent leaders. You can auto-pop this after 1. There's no way to use the old glitch where you could just kill the same leader several times in a single week. This one's unmissable and will unlock while beating the story. This one is pretty easy. Just anytime you see a tank, throw an EMP grenade or launch an EMP weapon at it from one of your launchers and you'll get this one. There's 5 mythical animals, but 2 of them are together, so it's effectively only 4 hunts. Slide 200 meters at once. That's pretty simple. You can actually get that during one of the intercepts. Run over 10 with the vehicle is very easy. That one also auto-pops after 1. This one, there's several different outposts that have these security control centers. I don't remember which one I did it at, but it was really easy, whichever one I found to do it. This one's a lot easier now, though, because you can reset any outpost at any point instead of having to wait for insurgency weeks to go to one that has a security center thing. Taking out a soldier from 50 meters above is very easy. Just parachute down and blow someone up with a rocket launcher. This one is extremely annoying, but thankfully it can be auto-popped with just 1 if you carry over your save file. The full matching gear set is unmissable. You'll get this near the end of the story in like the final or next to last story mission. Equip all the mods on a single resolver weapon are fairly easy once you find the materials for them. Talked about building every camp facility. 10 parts on a ride. You're going to get these mostly by scanning vehicles and by completing Grand Premios. Commandant is rank 14. You should get this naturally while going for the Platinum. You'll probably be higher than rank 14 by the time you're done. And then you have 3 Special Operations trophies. This one is a little bit annoying. I would suggest doing it on really anyone that you know you're going to be able to be good at, pretty much. I would say Mesozoico isn't a bad choice, though, because there's a couple areas where you have to run across open ground, but if you have the right setup and play it on the easiest difficulty, it's not too bad. This one, a lot of the guides are outdated. I had to use, like, a different guide from more modern on a different map. And then this one, thankfully, auto-pops, because if it didn't, it would take absolutely forever, because you can only rescue 3 hostages per run, so a minimum of 10 runs. Then we have the DLC. Of course, you guys know how I feel already about the Special Operations. It got one of my videos, one of my streams. It's the only stream right now that's demonetized. So, yeah, that's how pissed off I got at this game mode. So I'm not going to discuss it again because I don't want to go down that negative road today. But basically, out of these, Cocodrillo isn't too bad. Mesozoico is horrible. Maceo is arguably the worst one. Los Tres Santos is fairly straightforward and fairly easy, and Puerto del Eden is somewhere in the middle. Now we're talking about the other DLCs, Voss Insanity, Pagan Control, and Joseph Collapse. These are the Become the Villain DLCs. I'm still shocked that they did not try to milk this further with doing similar DLCs even for Castillo. They could have done that. I think that actually could have been kind of interesting, but they could have done one for Castillo. They could have done one for the Jackal from Far Cry 2. Realistically, if they really wanted to, they could have done one for the twins from New Dawn, even though no one would ever have wanted that, so it's probably a good thing they didn't. So with all 3 of these DLCs, they're basically the exact same trophy list. Escape the character's mind, escape with 25,000 points, which is guaranteed to unlock. If you don't get it normally, you're guaranteed to get it when you do the Mastery level 5 or Mind level 5. Have at least 8,000 currency at once. You can get that on the highest difficulty when you're farming out one of the later trophies. Discover every location in each character's mind. There's like 20 to 22 per area, I think it is. It's either 19 to 22 or 20 to 22. Unlock all the weapons. There's 9 per DLC. The diary pages, these vary. I think there's either like 7 or 8 per DLC. The chibis, there's always 10. And the visions, there's a certain number of those per map. Like Joseph, I think, only has 8. Whereas Voss and Pagan Min have closer to 20 each. And you have to escape each character's mind at level 5, which is not the easiest thing in the world, but it's not the hardest thing in the world because you can do it on the easier, like on the story mode difficulty, not the action mode difficulty. And you don't have to survive all 20 waves at the end. You only have to survive the first 5 waves so you can get out. PowerPix's guide had suggested using a fully upgraded pistol, but I'm not so sure I would agree with that. With the Voss DLC, I definitely ended up using the SMG a lot, With Pagan's DLC, I think I used the shotgun heavily in his DLC. And then in Joseph's DLC, I heavily used the machine gun, the MG42. So I would say having the pistol fully upgraded is a good backup, but it's probably not going to be your best overall choice anymore. Maybe they made it harder on this version, I don't know. And then for this trophy, this one's different in each DLC. In this case, you have to fully upgrade all the weapons cases. Basically, what you want to do to farm money is go into a Mine Level 5 playthrough and go to the 3 trials around the map, or they'll be considered something like trials. There's going to be 3 of those per map, and they give you basically a 1-up power when you complete them, but you can sell the 1-up, and if you're on Mine Level 5, it sells for 2,000 currency each time you get one. So it's best to do it on that difficulty once you've already finished all the other trophies and you can just sell your power-ups. I do recommend carrying in at least 2 of the 1-ups when you're going into your first Mine Level 5 playthrough, because it may very well save your life if you do something dumb like jumping off from a high height and taking damage, which did happen to me at some point. So just be very careful with that. Otherwise, you should be good to go. They're not overly difficult. They're not horribly time-consuming. I'd say Voss takes like 6 hours. Pagan can be done in like 4 or maybe 5 hours. His DLC, the diary pages, no, it's the visions it is. The visions are kind of annoying here because they require you to complete 4 different runs of one of the specific areas of it, like one of the side objectives. You have to complete 4 different times, 4 different ways to get all the visions. But his trophy is thankfully much easier. You just have to equip 8 powers at once, which means purchase all 8 power slots and then fill them with any power. So that's definitely the easiest of the 3 DLCs. Did I get all these trophies on the same day? Let's see. So yeah, 6:07 p.m., 5:52, 5:24, up until... So it only took me... So it looks like it only took me about 3 hours maybe to get this... Is that right? Yeah, it looks like it only took me about 3-ish hours to complete this DLC. So like 3 to 4 hours when you factor in time it would have taken me to get my first trophy here. So like probably about 4 hours and you can finish this DLC, whereas Voss took probably more like 6 hours. It took me a couple different days of playing, so it's probably more like 6 hours. Joseph's Collapse is a little bit more time consuming, I believe, than both... Well, no, did I... Yeah, Joseph's DLC is definitely the longest because you have to unlock all of his traits in the mirror, and it costs an insane amount of money to do. Like, I think it comes fairly close to like 50 to 100,000, so it's definitely more expensive than the other 2. But the same strategies apply as before, so that's Joseph's DLC. It's the same as the first 2, just maybe a little bit more time consuming, more like 8 hours. So altogether, you're looking at, 15 to 20 hours total to finish these 3 DLCs. And then you have Lost Between Worlds, which is just such a stupid... Well, let me rephrase that. It's not the worst idea for a DLC. It just didn't need to be made and serves absolutely no purpose, in my opinion. It's really just there... It's not part of the Season Pass, by the way, so it's literally only there to make people pay more money for or toward this game that they already own and already may have purchased the Season Pass for, which is really scummy. It's sort of what Borderlands 3 did with having a second Season Pass. So these first 3 trophies are all story-related. You're going to get all of these after completing the DLC or while completing the DLC. So basically what you do is you start out by running into the Fractured Fortress, and then you have to follow any path that you want to get to one of the 5 vessel shards, collect it, and that completes that path. And then just do it again for the other 4 shards, and then beat the final boss. And that's basically how it works. It was kind of a unique idea to have every single rift be some kind of unique challenge. Like for one of them, you get the chance to control your robot friend or AI friend, whatever you want to call them, and make them blow stuff up. In another one, you have to kill enemies in order to not die. Like if you don't keep killing enemies, like the sun will set and you'll die. There's another one where there's just constant lightning strikes on the ground. There's another one that's a shifting maze. So it was a unique idea that wasn't executed horribly. It's just the idea of, why did this DLC exist? Is it telling us the next Far Cry is going to be some space-themed game? Which I guess could be interesting. Then I guess they'll open up like a third potential Far Cry timeline, because we don't know what specific timeline it is anymore. So 5 consecutive rifts without respawning. This one should come naturally. It'll probably come naturally on your 15-minute run right here. For this one, it's recommended to go with the maze, then go to the Storm Runner one. That's the one where you're running past the lightning. And the Fractured Fortress counts as one of the 5 parts of it, so that's the first 3 parts. The fourth one, crap, what was the fourth one it wanted us to do? I actually can't remember what the fourth one was it wanted, but whatever the fourth one was, once you complete that one, I think it was the one where the sun sets, and if the sun fully sets, you die. I think it was that one, and you have to kill enemies to keep it going. I think it was that one. And then after that, you just want to do the one where you pick up the shards and you stand next to the pillars to clear them while killing a few enemies. This was one of the last trophies I got. This one is a little bit grindy because the gadgets aren't overly useful. It's actually fairly easy to farm during the final battle, though, because several parts of the final battle spawn a whole bunch of defensive units if you don't get it normally. Grenades and throwing axes are probably your best 2 options for this. 10 defensive units with melee attacks. Now we're on to the actual Rift-specific trophies. This one's pretty easy. Just get 10 melee kills of any type, including takedowns within a single run of the maze. Sunken Esperanza, this one is sort of toward the end of it, like before you enter, or not quite before you enter the portal, but near the end of it. You just swim down really far and you'll get it. I suggest having videos up for these. This one is the one where if the sun goes down, you die. This one is probably going to come naturally if you ever end up playing that one, which you should at some point. The 30 defensive units as Commandant Fade. This one may take multiple runs of the level. You may not, if you don't place your bombs well, this one may very well take 2 runs of this level. So just keep that in mind. You might end up having to go back and replay this one later. But you can do it over the course of multiple runs, unlike some of these other ones that all have to be done in a single run. And then Color Combat is the one where whatever weapon you have out, whatever color your weapon is, you are protected from like the opposite type of enemy, but you can't harm the opposite type of enemy, opposite color type, because of the way the game works with the whole color changing mechanic. It's a fairly short DLC. You can do it in like 3 to 4 hours total. It's just, again, it didn't need to exist. So let me go ahead and sync up my trophies here. So with that, level 829, 90%, 26,045 total trophies, 722 platinums, 4,723 golds, 6,898 silvers, 13,702 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. Well, to be completely honest, they're kind of in the air while I'm dealing with whatever this health issue is that I'm having. I'm really, really hoping that it's just, was just like gas or even just some kind of like mild food poisoning even. I don't think it was that because I never vomited, but I did get some nausea, so it's possible. So I'm hoping it's just something simple like that, or even if it were to be like withdrawal from deciding to quit drinking, hopefully permanently. That is a possibility, but that goes away after like 2 weeks. So I don't know. Really, this entire week is kind of up in the air while I get over whatever this health stuff is. I'm feeling a lot better now. I record this on Sunday nights. I'm feeling a lot better now than I did like earlier Sunday or Saturday or even Friday. Well, especially Saturday, because Saturday was probably about the... Well, no, I would say honestly Sunday morning was pretty rough too. But regardless, hopefully I start feeling better. And as soon as I start feeling better, I will be more up for streaming and playing and stuff. But for now, it's kind of all up in the air as to what I'm going to do. I probably wasn't going to be able to stream much this week anyway because my parents are supposed to be coming down for Father's Day this weekend. But again, that's kind of up in the air while I've got the health stuff going on. So hopefully I can get in to see a primary care provider soon and get more information on everything. But yeah, for now it's all going to be just a little bit up in the air while I deal with all this. So if I'm not on too much this coming week, or don't stream at all this week, or don't upload too many videos, that's going to be the reason why. I have plenty of trophy videos backlogged though, and those are usually pretty quick and easy to edit, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. And speaking of editing, I am still working on the Fallout 3 video. Of course, I didn't have as much time this week as I would have wanted with the health stuff, but it is coming along. The first 9 streams are edited down, so I think I'm over halfway done because a lot of the later parts are shorter. So I should be over halfway done, so hopefully I might be able to finish editing the actual initial part of the video and writing the script by the end of this week and then have it out next week, but we will have to see. After that, of course, is South Park, then Tide the Tasmanian Tiger, and then Far Cry 6. And then the next game that I'm planning on doing is, of course, Modern Warfare 2. but I did not get the chance to stream that this past week because I didn't have enough hard drive space to download it. But now that Far Cry 6 has been deleted from my console, I can stream the game because it's all fully downloaded. So next time we come back to live stream a Platinum Trophy run, it will be on Modern Warfare 2. So definitely excited for that. I think that's going to be fun. It's not a particularly long game, because I mean, South Park was a super short game that can be done in like 10 hours or less. TIE takes like 12. But this one is more like 15-ish hours. So I am looking forward to that one, though. So when it comes to game plans, though, the plan still for June is to try to finish The Division 2 or come close to finishing it. Finish both versions of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl if I get the chance, now that Minecraft's out of the way. And then Modern Warfare 2, most likely I'll get started on within the next week or so. Hopefully everything goes right for that. I'll be doing the PS5 version first because only one trophy auto-pops from PS4 to PS5, and I don't even think it's a full auto-pop. I think it's a partial one. So no point in playing the inferior version on stream when I can play the better PS5 version. So yeah, those are the main plans, but I will platinum both versions because it's not a particularly long game. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't. Just get another Call of Duty game doubly done. And then for July and beyond, GTA 5 if I decide to return to it, Shadow of the Colossus, COD Classic, Outer Worlds, and various other games. So yep, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already. Like I said, this week is a little bit up in the air. Hopefully I'll be feeling well enough to upload and everything. And yeah, I will see you guys later this week for some more content.